why being nice isn't enough. Let me ask you something. Have you ever liked a woman so much that you gave her everything? You were there when she needed you. You made time for her. You texted her first. You tried to be thoughtful, helpful, kind. You gave your energy, your attention, maybe even your heart. But for some reason, it still didn't work out. She stopped replying. She seemed less interested. She became distant. She didn't say it directly, but you felt it. She wasn't into it anymore. And you sat there wondering, what did I do wrong? You might have even asked your friends or searched online. How do I get her to like me again? What do women really want? Why do they lose interest so fast? Let me save you years of pain and confusion. It's not because you weren't nice enough. It's not because you didn't try hard enough. In fact, that might be the very thing that pushed her away. Here's the truth that most men are never told. Women don't respect men who chase them. They don't crave men who make them the center of their lives. They respect men who can walk away without begging, without anger, and without losing control. Let that sink in. That's the opposite of what most of us are taught. You've been told your whole life that if you like a woman, you should prove it. Show her how much you care. Do more, try harder, be extra sweet, be extra available. Basically, convince her you're a good man. But guess what? Trying to prove your worth is the fastest way to lose it. Because the moment you act like you need her more than she needs you, the moment you start making her the center of your attention, your schedule, your emotions, she feels it and she starts to pull away. Not out of cruelty, but because she senses what's really happening. You've placed your value below hers. You've made her approval more important than your self-respect. And here's the truth. Most men don't want to hear, but need to. If you want a woman to truly respect you, you must be ready to walk away at any time. Not in anger, not as a move, but calmly, silently, powerfully, because your self-worth is not tied to her opinion of you. This is what Stoic men understand. They know that emotional self-control is power. They don't chase, beg, or over-explain. They don't act out of fear of losing someone, because they know they never truly lose someone when they're true to themselves. Women sense this. They feel it in the way you speak, move, and carry yourself. And when a man has this kind of calm strength, when he can walk away with his head high, it triggers something deep in a woman's mind. Respect, curiosity, attraction. Because in a world full of men who are too afraid to be alone, too afraid to walk away from disrespect, too afraid to say no when their boundaries are crossed, the man who stands tall in solitude, he becomes rare. And what is rare becomes valuable. So if you've ever been the nice guy who got ghosted, friend-zoned, or taken for granted, it's not because you're not good enough. It's because you didn't know how to walk away. But that ends today. In this video, I'm going to show you why your presence should feel like a gift, not a guarantee. Why giving too much too soon kills desire. How detachment, self-respect, and inner calm actually make you more attractive, not less. And how walking away at the right time with the right mindset makes women feel something they rarely feel anymore: respect. So stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why women respect men who don't chase, and how becoming that man starts with one powerful truth: you don't need to prove your worth to anyone. You are the prize if you live like it. The trap most men fall into. Let's get real for a second. Most men were never taught how to deal with women. We were raised on movies where the guy chases the girl, buys her flowers, writes her love letters, stands in the rain, waits for her to notice him, and somehow, at the end, she falls for him. But here's the truth. No one wants to say out loud: in the real world, chasing rarely works. When you chase, it doesn't make you look more loving. It doesn't make you look strong or romantic. It makes you look desperate. And desperation is not attractive. Think about it this way. If you walk into a store and see a man trying to sell you a watch, and he keeps saying, "Please buy this. It's really good. I'll give you a discount. What can I do to make you want this?" Even if the watch is decent, you'll start to wonder, why is he trying so hard? What's wrong with it? Now picture a different store. You walk in and see a rare, beautiful watch sitting behind glass. It's not being sold hard. It's not discounted. In fact, there's a waiting list. Only a few people ever get to own it. Now you feel different, don't you? Suddenly it feels valuable. That's exactly how women experience men. If you're constantly available, always texting, always offering, always adjusting yourself to be what she wants, she doesn't see you as strong. She sees you as common, and what's common becomes invisible. Now let me be clear. This doesn't mean you treat women badly. This doesn't mean you play cold games or act like you don't care. This is not about disrespect. This is about self-respect. There's a big difference. Chasing says, "I need you to choose me." Walking in your power says, "I choose myself first." And here's the irony. The less you try to prove yourself to a woman, the more she becomes curious about who you are. Why? Because women are drawn to mystery. They are drawn to men who seem fulfilled, focused, calm. Men who don't need them, but might choose them. It's like gravity. When a man is grounded in purpose, centered in self-worth, and not chasing validation, he becomes magnetic. You don't need fancy clothes. You don't need pickup lines. You don't need to impress her with money or muscles. All you need is to be the kind of man who knows who he is, and who doesn't break himself down just to get someone's attention. That kind of man is rare. And again, what's rare is valuable. So what do women truly want in the long run? Not a man who bends for them. Not a man who gives up his goals, time, or pride just to be liked. They want a man who's already going somewhere. A man with a vision. A man with enough backbone to walk away if the energy isn't right. Because deep down, every woman knows, if he can't say no to me, then he won't be able to say no to the world. And a man who can't say no is a man who can't protect her. He can't lead. He can't stand strong when things get hard. So when you chase, you're not just losing respect, you're signaling weakness. Now here's the twist. The opposite of chasing is not being cold. It's not being silent just to manipulate her. The opposite of chasing is living. Living fully. Living with direction. Living with purpose and peace, even when no woman is beside you. This is the power of Stoic strategy. When you stop chasing, you stop bleeding energy. When you stop proving, you stop needing approval. And when you stop needing, you start choosing. That's where real attraction begins. Because the man who can walk away, he doesn't just get attention, he gets respect. How absence creates desire. The power of space. Let's talk about something that almost no man is taught. The quiet power of absence. You see, we've all been fed the same advice. If you like her, don't let her slip away. Stay consistent. Keep showing up to prove you care. And in theory, that sounds noble. It sounds romantic. But in real life, it usually does more harm than good. Here's the truth. Too much presence kills desire. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because people, men and women, get used to things that are always around. Think about a song you love. If you hear it once a week, it feels fresh. But if you play it 5 times a day, every day, what happens? You start skipping it, not because the song changed, but because you got used to it. It lost its edge. Now apply this to relationships. When a man is always available, when he replies instantly, says yes to everything, cancels his plans, texts her good morning and good night, like clockwork, he becomes background noise. He becomes that song on repeat, and she starts to tune him out. But when a man steps back, not to play games, not to punish, but because he's busy living his life, something changes. Space enters the picture, and space makes people think. It makes them wonder. It creates a gap where curiosity can grow. Here's what happens in that space. She starts to notice your absence. She starts to replay old moments in her mind. She starts to think about what made you different. She starts to ask herself, why hasn't he texted me yet? That's not manipulation. That's nature. We value what's not constantly in our faces. We crave what isn't guaranteed. And we wonder about what we can't fully predict. That's why the most powerful men in dating are not the ones who always show up. They're the ones who know when to be present and when to let space do the talking. Here's what you need to understand. Absence isn't rejection. It's reflection. When you're not always around, she gets a chance to sit with her feelings. She has time to ask herself, do I miss him? Do I feel something real here? Do I want to reach out? Those questions can't be answered when you're constantly there. Now, some men fear that if they create distance, she'll forget them. But if she forgets you, just because you weren't in her phone for 48 hours, she was never that interested to begin with. And that's okay. You don't need to chase that kind of woman. Because you're not here to convince. You're here to attract. Let the ones who truly value you feel the contrast of your absence. Let them feel your silence so they can miss the sound of your presence. And most importantly, use that space to grow yourself. While she's thinking about you, you're at the gym. While she's wondering where you are, you're building your business. While she's feeling your absence, you're getting better, sharper, stronger. That's how you win. You need a mission. First, here's a hard truth most men learn the painful way. If she becomes your purpose, you lose your power. It doesn't matter how beautiful she is. It doesn't matter how much you love her. It doesn't even matter how deep the connection feels. If you make her the center of your world, you become a man who is orbiting her life, not the other way around. And what happens when you orbit someone else? You start to lose your gravity. You stop leading. You stop growing. You stop being the man you were becoming before she came into the picture. Your focus goes from purpose to pleasing, from building to begging, from confidence to codependence. And little by little, she starts to feel it. She might not even know how to explain it, but something changes. She starts to pull away. Not because she's cruel, but because she no longer feels the energy of a man who's grounded. She fell for your mission. She was drawn to your drive. She admired your calm focus and ability to say no when something didn't fit your vision. But now, you drop everything for her. You try to do more to keep her. You make her the sun, and you become the planet spinning around her. And guess what? No woman respects that. Because deep down, every woman wants to feel like she's part of your life. Not that she is your life. She wants to feel like she's joined something powerful. Not like she's the reason you even wake up in the morning. This is why purpose comes first. Always. Your purpose is your anchor. It's what keeps you grounded when emotions rise. It's what gives you confidence that doesn't depend on anyone's attention. It's what makes you attractive, even when you say nothing at all. Think about the men women admire most. Are they the ones who cancel their gym sessions to reply to wide texts? Or are they the ones who are on a mission and invite her to walk beside them, not above them? Exactly. This doesn't mean you shouldn't care. It doesn't mean you should be cold. It just means that your deepest fire shouldn't burn for her. It should burn for your vision. And if she fits into that vision, amazing. If she supports it, respects it, and adds to it, you've got a rare one. But if she demands that you drop your purpose to focus more on her, she's asking you to abandon your strength. And a man without purpose is a man easy to control, and even easier to replace. So here's the mindset shift. You're not here to win her heart by proving how much you love her. You're here to lead your life with such focus and calm strength that she wants to be part of it. That's the man women crave long term. Not the one who bends, but the one who builds. So take your energy off chasing. Put it back into creating. Because the truth is this: a man on a mission is magnetic. A man who walks his own path is rare. And a man who can walk away if she doesn't align is unforgettable. why less of you increases your value. Let's talk about a principle that rules the world, not just in relationships, but in business, psychology, and even survival. It's called scarcity. And if you understand this one idea deeply, it will forever change how you move as a man. Scarcity means something becomes more valuable the less available it is. Simple, right? If something is everywhere, people don't care. If something is rare, people chase it. Now think about that and apply it to you. If you're always available, if you are constantly texting her back in seconds, if you are trying to hang out anytime she asks, if you drop everything just to keep her attention, you're showing her something without saying a word. You're showing her, I don't have a lot going on. I don't value my time. My world revolves around you. And what happens next? She stops valuing your presence. Because it's not special anymore. It's always there. Always eager. Always chasing. Now, let's flip the script. Let's say you're a man on your purpose. You're building something, your body, your business, your mindset, your mission. You don't reply instantly, not because you're playing games, but because you're busy doing real things. You're not always available. Sometimes you take hours to respond. Sometimes you don't respond at all, because the message didn't need a reply. You don't try to squeeze into her life. You let her earn a place in yours. Now, how do you think that makes her feel? At first, confused. Then, intrigued. And finally, drawn in. Because whether she knows it or not, she's sensing something she rarely sees. A man who doesn't need her attention to feel whole. A man who has value with or without her. A man whose time is not cheap. That's when she starts to chase. Not because you manipulated her, but because you made her feel what every high-value man makes a woman feel. That your presence is a privilege, not a given. Now, a quick warning. This isn't about being cold. This isn't about ignoring her or trying to act better than. That's insecurity, disguised as power. This is about having such a rich, full, focused life that you simply don't have the time or energy to obsess over someone else. And that energy, that self-respect, creates natural space. And in that space, desire grows. Remember this. People value what they have to wait for. People crave what they can't instantly access. People chase what they can't fully have. You want her to respect you. Stop being so easy to reach. Stop giving all your time away for free. Start treating your energy like something precious. Because the truth is, it is. The calm mind is the strongest mind. Now we're stepping into one of the most powerful, yet most misunderstood parts of being a man. Your emotions. Most of us grow up hearing two wrong messages. Real men don't feel. Real men should always express how they feel. Both are extremes, and both are wrong. Let's break it down simply. Emotions are normal, you're human. You'll feel joy, anger, pain, frustration, excitement, jealousy, love, all of it. But here's the difference between the average man and the man women respect. The average man gets controlled by his emotions. He reacts. He panics. He snaps when he's mad. He begs when he feels insecure. He overshares when he feels afraid. He clings when he senses her slipping away. But the strong man, the stoic man, does something different. He feels everything, but he doesn't act on impulse. He stays calm under pressure. He knows that feelings are like waves. They rise and they fall. And if he lets the wave pass without acting wild, he keeps control of his life. This is what emotional mastery is. It's not hiding your feelings. It's guiding them. It's not pretending to be calm. It's becoming calm by practice. Let's use a simple example. A woman starts pulling away. She's colder. Her texts slow down. Most guys feel the fear instantly. And they react. They double text. They call late at night. They ask, "Are you mad at me?" They try to force closeness. They get emotional. And what happens? The woman pulls back even more. Why? Because emotional neediness is unattractive. Because now she sees a man who can't handle stress. A man who can't handle distance. A man who's easy to shake. But the stoic man, he sees the same behavior. And instead of reacting, he breathes. He stays grounded. He continues living. He doesn't chase. He allows. He trusts himself. He knows his worth. And even if she walks away, he walks in peace. That's what makes her respect him. That's what makes her reconsider. That's what makes her crave his energy again. Because she sees what most men don't have: control, strength, calm presence. And let me be clear, this isn't about being emotionless. You're not a robot. You can care. You can feel. But you must train yourself to respond deliberately, not desperately. When she sees that her coldness doesn't shake you, that her distance doesn't make you beg, that her silence doesn't make you spiral, she realizes something. This man doesn't fear losing me because he's not afraid of being alone. That right there, that's the energy that flips everything. Because when you no longer chase peace in someone else, you begin to attract it from everywhere. Your calm energy becomes rare. Your strength becomes felt. And your silence becomes louder than words. So remember, don't suppress your emotions. Don't explode with them either. Learn to master them. Because the calm mind, it's magnetic, it's powerful, and it's the mind that no one, not even a woman, can play with. Why your time and presence must be earned. Now let's talk about something that makes you instantly more attractive in the eyes of a woman. One word: scarcity. Scarcity means something is rare. And what's rare is usually seen as valuable. Think about it. If you could walk outside and pick up diamonds like you pick up pebbles, would they be worth anything? No, they'd be everywhere. Everyone would have one. No one would chase them. No one would fight for them. No one would protect them. It's the same with you. If you're always available, if you're always chasing, if you're always saying yes, if you're always there the moment she snaps her fingers, you're no longer valuable. You're no longer rare. You become like every other guy. But when your time is limited, when your presence is earned, not given, when you're focused on your mission, not her every move, you become scarce. You become high value. And women feel that. Let's break it down with an example. A man who's always checking his phone to see if she texted back. He's abundant in neediness. He's always ready to reply. He has nothing better to do. She feels that, and it repels her. But a man who's busy building his body, mind, business, purpose, he doesn't even notice if she hasn't replied in hours. He's not ignoring her to play games. He's just busy with his life. He's focused on his mission, and that mission gives him power. This makes women stop and think, why isn't he chasing me? Why doesn't he need my attention? What's going on in his world that's more important than me? And just like that, her curiosity grows. Her interest builds. Because your absence now creates presence in her mind. It's psychological. The less you give freely, the more they value what you offer. Let me say that again, because it's gold. The less you give freely, the more they value what you offer. Your attention, your presence, your affection, your time. These things should be earned, not handed out like candy. And this doesn't mean being cold. It doesn't mean being rude or distant for no reason. It means you live like a man who values himself. And because you value yourself, you're careful with your energy. Think of yourself like a king. A king doesn't chase peasants through the streets begging for their attention. He sits on his throne. He rules his kingdom, and people come to him because of the power he radiates. You're the same. When you make your presence scarce, not because of manipulation, but because you're living a full, focused life, you don't just look more attractive. You become more attractive. Women respect you more. They trust your energy more. They admire your strength. And most importantly, they see that you're not a man who's desperate for connection. You're a man who chooses it carefully. And that's why they crave you. So ask yourself right now, is my time too easy to get? Do I give my energy to people who haven't earned it? Am I living like someone who has something valuable to offer? Because when you move like you're rare, the world and women will treat you that way too. Be the calm in the storm. Now let's talk about something that separates the strong from the weak. And it's not muscles. It's not money. It's not being loud or acting tough. It's emotional mastery. Most guys have no idea how important this is. But women feel it deeply. You see, women are emotional beings. That's not a bad thing. That's nature. They feel things deeply. They go through ups and downs, excitement and worry, joy and doubt. But here's the thing. A woman doesn't want a man who adds to her chaos. She wants a man who stays calm in the middle of the storm. Let's say something small upsets her. She's emotional. Maybe she's being distant or moody. Most guys will start freaking out. They panic. They ask, "What's wrong? Did I do something? Are you mad at me?" They overthink. They try to fix her emotions so they can feel okay. That's not masculine energy. That's not strength. That's neediness in disguise. But the man who can stay calm, who doesn't react, who listens but doesn't lose himself in her storm, that's the man she respects. That's the man she trusts. That's the man she wants to follow. Why? Because he makes her feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally. She knows he won't break down. She knows he won't lash out. She knows he won't cry and beg or argue like a boy. He's grounded. He's solid. He's a rock. Now, emotional mastery doesn't mean you don't feel anything. It doesn't mean you bottle things up or turn into a robot. It means you feel it. You understand it. But you don't let it control you. You lead your emotions. They don't lead you. And that's rare in today's world. Most people, men and women, are slaves to their feelings. One moment they're happy. The next they're angry. Then sad. Then jealous. Then excited. Back to fear again. Like a roller coaster. But the man who can feel emotion and still stand tall, still act with purpose, still make clear decisions, that man is powerful. That man is dangerous. In a good way. That man becomes someone others look up to. And women? They crave that kind of man. Because he gives them something rare, peace. You don't get that peace from pretending. You get it from doing the inner work, from facing your wounds, from controlling your reactions, from breathing through the hard moments, from choosing logic over panic, from being present when it's easy to run. This is the kind of strength that makes a man irresistible. Because when she feels emotional chaos, and you stay calm, she starts to relax. She starts to trust. She starts to respect you more. And when a woman respects you emotionally, she bonds to you in a way that's much deeper than physical attraction. So don't try to prove yourself with gifts, words, or chasing. Master your emotions. Stay calm. Stay grounded, and you'll find that she'll do the chasing, not because you asked her to, but because you became a man she can't forget. He quiet power. Women can't resist. Let's talk about something a lot of people pretend to have, but very few actually do. Confidence. Most guys think confidence means walking into a room like you own it, talking loud, flexing muscles, showing off money, bragging about success. But here's the truth. Real confidence doesn't talk. It doesn't need to. It just is. You can feel it in the way a man moves, the way he talks slowly and calmly, the way he's okay with silence, the way he doesn't rush to fill the space. Real confidence is quiet, it's relaxed, it's grounded. Now here's what most guys get wrong. They try to fake confidence. They think if they wear the right watch, drive the right car, or post the right picture, women will believe they're confident. But deep down, women can feel the truth. They have strong emotional radar. They know when a man's confidence is real and when it's built on fear. So where does real confidence come from? Simple. Real confidence comes from competence, from self-respect, from knowing who you are and what you stand for. When you've been through pain and survived, when you face challenges and grown, when you know what you bring to the table, even when no one's watching. You stop needing to prove anything. You stop needing to chase people. You stop needing to be loud. You stop needing approval. And here's the twist. That's exactly what makes people want you more, especially women. Because a woman doesn't want a man who needs her to feel good about himself. She wants a man who already knows his worth. A man who can walk away if she disrespects him. Not in anger, not in revenge, but in calm, quiet strength. She wants a man who can be alone and still happy. A man who doesn't beg, doesn't chase, and doesn't need to be liked. That man is a mystery. That man is a challenge. That man is rare. And when something is rare, it becomes valuable. So build your confidence the right way. Not through looks, not through money, not through trying to impress anyone, but through yourself. Master a skill. Get good at something hard. Set a goal and crush it. Spend time alone and become your own best friend. Speak the truth, even when your voice shakes. That's how real men are built. And when a woman meets a man who's done the work, she feels it in her bones. She may not know why, but she can't help but lean in. She can't help but chase. She can't help but crave more. Because true confidence is magnetic. It doesn't force anything. It attracts everything. The power of walking away, respect and attraction follow. We've talked about detachment. We've talked about absence. We've talked about confidence. But there's one more thing you need to understand. Something that ties all these ideas together. Walking away is the ultimate act of power. You see, when a man can walk away from a situation, from a person, from a relationship, from anything, without anger or frustration, it shows the deepest level of control. It's the ultimate sign of self-respect. It's a powerful message that says, I don't need anyone to validate me. I don't need anyone to fill a void in me. I'm already complete. And this, my friends, is the reason why women respect men who can walk away. Imagine this. You've been giving a woman your attention, your time, your energy. She's used to you being available. She's used to you chasing her. But one day, you stop. You focus on yourself. You start living your own life, chasing your own goals, building your own dreams. Now here's where it gets interesting. She starts to notice the change. She feels the absence. She feels the shift. And at first, she might not understand it. But then it hits her. You're not chasing her anymore. You're not waiting for her attention. You're not depending on her to feel good about yourself. And she respects that. She respects it because it reminds her that you are your own person. It reminds her that you have your own life and your own purpose. You're not there to fulfill hers. You don't need her to feel complete. Now, does this mean you're cold, distant, or emotionally unavailable? Absolutely not. It means you're grounded. It means you know what you want and won't settle for less. It means you value yourself too much to chase someone who doesn't appreciate you. When you can walk away without hesitation, you're telling her you respect yourself. You're telling her you don't need her approval. You're telling her that you're happy whether she's with you or not. This creates something very powerful in her mind. It creates desire. It creates respect. She starts to wonder what she might lose if she doesn't give you the attention you deserve. She starts to crave your presence because now you're a challenge. She's not used to you being so independent. She doesn't want to lose a man who has the strength to walk away. When you create space for yourself, you create space for her desire to grow. When you focus on your own happiness, you make her realize that she can't be the only source of your joy. And that's what makes you irresistible. That's what makes her want you more. That's the key to creating lasting attraction. The principles we've talked about today, detachment, absence, confidence, and walking away, are not about playing games. They are about living authentically and with purpose. They are about cultivating the strength and emotional mastery that makes a man magnetic to women. When you know your worth, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. When you respect yourself, you won't tolerate disrespect. And when you can walk away from a situation without fear or desperation, you send the strongest message. You are the prize. You are the one who controls your own destiny. And you are rare. Women want men who can walk away, because it shows they are capable of loving themselves first. It shows they have mastered their emotions, their desires, and their goals. It shows they don't chase validation or approval. And that, gentleman, is the kind of man who commands respect. That's the kind of man who builds real lasting attraction. That's the kind of man who will never be overlooked. You are the prize. Never forget that.